I can't believe it's been almost 4 years since our last interview, because I feel like it was only 1 or 2 years ago. But how have you guys been in 4 years?
Well, it's been quite the ride. I mean, the pandemic hit right when we were supposed to do our first tour in 2020. We did get to release the album, which was nice. But after that, it was, I think we just discussed that our coping mechanism through COVID was write more songs. So that's what we did. And I released 2 albums, one with Ari and one with I Have Million, in addition to our Altamullan Road album. And you did some music as well.
My solo album, Broken River, in the year 21. And music has been the savior.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that goes right into my next question, which was how did you guys survive the pandemic with the canceled shows and everything?
It was hard. It really was a shock, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely. And,
we were 2 days away from starting the tour or something like that. It was really, it gives me the wrong kind of chills even thinking about it. It was not nice, but I guess something lovely came out of waiting as well, because now we get to do this tour with a different kind of group that feels somehow right for this moment. Your husband Mikko and my brother Timo, it's so special to be able to share this journey together with them.
Well, I was going to ask about that as well. That wasn't the original plan for the tour, was it? That they were going to be with you, or?
No, but in so many ways, this COVID made us stop and think all such a deep level. And we had to kind of strip things apart and think about how we started.
Yeah, I have this wonderful memory. Like the first time we sang together was sat around your kitchen table, just Mikko strumming the guitar and us two singing, and it was just that. And we kind of wanted to go back to that moment where it was just simply the music and the voices together. And at some point, it started to feel like we want to bring in one more person, one more guitarist that could also sing. And then it was my brother who popped into our minds, and he really is the perfect fit. And for me personally, it's been a dream to be able to like kind of have a family to belong to. Adventures are fun to have, but if you can share adventures with kindred spirits and like a family environment, it makes everything that much more special, at least to me.
I love that. What was it like to look out on that sold-out crowd in Kite with your biggest fans from all over the world in the front row?
Well, it was such a beautiful dream that we snitch each other's hands. Is this true at all?
It really blew us away to the moon and back. It was more than we could have ever anticipated or hoped for. All the love. It was tangible.
Well, on that note as well, some of your biggest fans, as I said, from all over the world and Finland, came all over to see that first show. So what's it like to see these Altamullan toads with their travel blogs just going around Finland for the first time, just to see you guys?
That's so lovely. So, I don't even have the right words to describe how much that means to us. I mean,
well, the planet Earth feels such a warm and wonderful place after seeing this. So much terrible things are happening, but this is reminding that there are so many miracles happening.
Yes, absolutely. And to be able to connect through music on a such personal and deep level that's magic to me. It's so special.
And I love that because you make music and then it inspires art and then that inspires writing or whatever. And I love that just you guys exude this positivity breeds positivity vibe. And that's probably why I love you guys so much, is just because of that good energy.
Well, I'm happy that translates. I mean, I've always loved the saying, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. I think that kind of says it all.
Yes.
And we need to be reminders for each other of that kindness that seems to be somehow so lost in this world, but it's not. It's inside us all. We just need to kind of unravel it and bring it forth through what we love to do, our passions.
I love that. One other thing I love is your stage outfits, because it has so much of your individual personality, but you guys still kind of match somehow. So, and especially with your stage change after the intermission. So, how did you guys come up with your outfits for these shows?
Well, I have always admired Johanna's like this beautiful aesthetic vision and ability to see like this whole picture. And it has been a wonderful adventure for me to find these outfits with Joanna. And you have very much wonderful ideas, and you are very good to find things maybe from our own water.
Oh, yeah, own
water
closets. Yeah,
closets
we've been
and-
rummaging around our
Yeah.
clothes, and it's just been fun. It's been like playing around with clothes with your best friend and just having fun. And I think what's most important is how we feel and what we wear, and that's so. I think we kind of steer with our hearts towards finding the right outfits and different occasions. But yeah, it's been fun.
Yes.
And one thing I really love is doing these interviews together. I mean, I used to be a solo artist for over 10 years, well, 10 years, give or take, and it's just something that I always missed, being able to share this, because there's just some, I mean, we need each other. It's just, yeah.
There's definitely something where you can be great on your own, but when you find someone who you can vibe off of and you can bring out the best in each other, like, at least for me, I love that even more, because I'm confident I can create art myself, but I always feel like I'm better when there's someone who I trust, whose perspective and idea is kind of the same as mine, and who will like help me bring that out to the best of my ability, and vice versa.
You said it. That's exactly so.
It's a wonderful gift. And
It
I'm so
certainly is.
grateful for this
Yeah,
friendship.
it is. It's been.
Kindred spirit.
There is a lot of twin energy. I mean, I've never had a twin, but if I did, this is what it must feel like. It's just, I love it. And it's timeless, like how I see love and friendship or any connection that we share in this life with all of life. It's timeless and
Unconditional.
true.
Yes.
Free. Freedom. That's it.
Free love. Love for free, but also let it free. Well, excuse me. Since your album is a few years old now, how do you guys feel that you've evolved since it came out? Especially through the pandemic and all of that.
Well, it has been when that happened, this total lockdown. I have this one place in northern Finland, our cottage, where I go as often as I can, and then I had time and I went there, and I find it that from that stillness, and we have to front ourselves. And I think this suomalainen sisu, Finnish, what is it?
Tenacity.
Yeah, it gets more powerful, and it also this music and the love of music just flows forward, and maybe that believe to what you are just came stronger.
Yeah.
From that, and just maybe as a reminder that maybe we shouldn't be so afraid to stop and be with ourselves, and just to find out who we are, and believe in that over here inside.
I agree. I'm sure it's definitely made us stronger in instead of giving up, going for it even with more faith in, or maybe faith is not the right word, but just this drive that we have inside that we really
the
want to.
meaningfulness for the people that surround us. Our closest people, they got even more special and important. That we need. This is the main thing, that to be with another. English, sorry, my English, but just let it flow from the inside, the love and music.
Yeah, well said.
I love that. Well, have you guys been writing anything new lately?
We did.
Yeah.
And we actually started, we had the dream to release another album before we hit the road. But up until, well, it's just been so long. I mean, I've released 3 albums with no shows during the pandemic, and it was just, I started missing people and interaction so much so that it started hindering my writing. And I realized that I really want to do this tour first and then pick up things in the studio. But we did start. We have a good 5-6 songs already for the next album, so it's halfway there. Good start, but hopefully after this tour. And I've already actually started twiddling with things, so things are up and running, gradually moving towards the second album, I'm sure.
Yeah, too.
Well, as artists generally know, sometimes inspiration can strike pretty hard and fast. So do you have any memories of that from the first album, or maybe from the music you're writing now? Of just that big sucker punch of inspiration?
There was quite many from the last tour we did. It was a wonderful feeling. I don't remember, were we in Turku, the backstage, and maybe I hummed some tune, and you started. We started. You played with violin, and I sang, and that this could be one song, and
I remember.
then we continued in the spring. Was it?
Yeah, we went to the studio, and I remember you had found this amazing pizzicato sound for that song. And that instantly sparked our imagination it took us to the Caribbeans, and we thought of pirates, and that was the first part of the Mary Scallywag that she was playing that had gotten these new clothes. And that made me realize that I have something that I've written that might go along with it.
It was a perfect match.
It certainly was. Yeah, but that pizzicato sound was really what kind of opened that door for us to that nautical adventure that we sort of had with it. Yeah, so sometimes it's a beautiful thing when the flow kind of takes you and you just write it. Yeah.
Well, of any of your musical endeavors, together or apart, which songs or lines are kind of closest to your heart at this moment? Because, of course, it's always changing, but...
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's hard to pick, because I feel like every day I'm singing or some line from some song is changing.
Yeah, it changes a lot, but they're all precious, all kind of coming and going. It's hard to pick just one. But overall, I mean, these days I rarely listen to music, hardly ever anymore, but I love to, whenever I travel, I do go back to Altamullan Road album or Eye of Melian or Auri. They're albums that I do love to kind of throw myself in and forget I was ever there making the music, but just, I mean, maybe that's the philosophy and the way we write. We kind of make music that we want to hear and music that somehow resonates with us.
Well, your first show, you guys played a lot of covers, and I was also really curious because you got like a really great wide selection of stuff there, and I was curious just How did you find those songs? Or like, there's so many songs you could pick. So how did you narrow it down to such a great selection?
I remember we did spend quite a few evenings listening through different songs and trying them out. But I think it was really natural the way we just started playing, and the ones that we vibed instantly with were the ones that we just sort of went for.
Yeah.
Selection, yeah.
Well, you've mentioned before that your album covers a lot of darker subjects, and just personally, I've had a lot of tragedies in the last couple of years, and I love the music because it helps me to find that space where beauty can grow from grief, like losing people that have been really important to me or that sort of thing, and feeling these songs like When It's Time, that they make death feel less painful. It's more like, oh, I'll see you later. And that's so valuable to me. So was that a conscious goal for your music, to kind of just bring out the best of life? Or a happy after effect?
Thank you for the feedback. I think it was just the songs that we wrote for the first album were kind of topics that were in our lives at the moment that touched us during that time. I mean, I remember my grandmother passed away during our tour, the last tour that we did before our debut album in 2018, and her and my grandfather's story was their love story that sparked the When It's Time, the lyrics of When It's Time. And many songs like from your life, the stuff that you wrote, and somehow it's just, well, we come from the same heart, same soul. These topics just resonated with us, and it's kind of maybe our way of making music is to always find some sort of a deeper angle. I mean, there are fun songs, but even songs like They Should Have Sent a Poet, there is a little deeper undercurrent that we like to always. Yeah, because life it's not just things that you see superficial. It's so multi-layered, isn't it? And I mean, it's fun to have songs like The Maniac, and where you can just dance and not think about anything too deep. But the songs that I like the most are the ones that actually do something inside and open doors that no one else, nothing else could.
Do you want to ask the next one?
So the last song on your set list is They Should Have Sent a Poet, is What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish, which plays during the Barbie movie in a very poignant part. So my question for you is, what were you made for?
Well, you had a beautiful, I think, idea that connectedness, like you just described, that you found
There's
that core.
when we. You can help me now.
But just, well, I think
You can put it in such beautiful way.
You just did. It was, I think the pandemic really asked all of us that question, right? It was challenging, but I think the challenges in life are our biggest teachers and senseis. They are the ones that teach us the most and make us answer those tough questions like, what was I made for? And in a time where I couldn't play shows, I couldn't do what I felt like I came here to do, what I was made for, it was tough to try to ask if there was anything else that I could be or do, or is this all of me? And if I can't do this, then what's the purpose? Or it really brought up big questions, and maybe that's the reason why I first heard the song. It just it really did. But all in all, I think it's to do with somehow. I mean, I think COVID taught me to stop and really evaluate the being. I mean, to me, it's always been what was I made for was to do with doing. What could I do here? But COVID and the pandemic really made me question that and ask myself, could it be enough if I just was? And if it was just being, would that be enough? If I was kind, or what sort of qualities would I want to cultivate in the being? So, something like that. Really deep questions. But in addition to that, I think it's important for all of us collectively and individually to kind of find that passion. What is that thing that sparks your laughter, that kindness, that joy, that bubbly energy that we all have inside of us? That's different for all of us, and I think that's important to discover and ask yourself, what was I made for? And the wonderful thing is that it can also change.
Yes.
We're all works in progress.
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
So those 3 brilliant lines from I Should Have Sent a Poet, I can't, we have Kathy here. I can't not ask about these. So, specifically, they've been appropriated by a very little special corner of the internet, and it's dreams are dangerous, become what laughter means to you, and abnormality breeds calamity. And so after hearing those lines just become so beloved, has the meaning changed for you at all for what they mean?
It's been an amazing gift to see that that song has made so many friends and touched people in a way that I never imagined it could. And it's really special. I mean, in a moment where we write songs, you just kind of let it come and you don't think much about it. But then I love seeing how the music takes a path of its own and carves its way into different lives and picks up different meanings along the way to different people. And I think that's really special. But all in all, I think, there's just, at least for me, it's so easy to succumb to, comparing yourself to others. And that's a trap that we all have to kind of fight ourselves out of on so many occasions. But it's just like it says in that song, only you can dream for you, nobody else can. And you need to give that voice inside of you a chance. Nobody else can know what that little voice inside of you can do and accomplish. So go for it. Find your laughter. Find your smile. Yeah.
I love that. And if not for people like Kathy and people like you, I might not be taking risks and putting my own writing out there now. So I really appreciate you making music like this, at least.
I'm so happy. And it's contagious, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. We just need reminders like that. It's like little beacons that we can be for each other.
Yeah. Stop hiding your art behind closed doors. I think I heard someone say once, stop being so selfish. The world needs your art. Whatever that is, share it because someone out there needs it.
Absolutely. I love that.
Me too.
Well, my last question then, so you guys can continue with your day, is just that this is kind of almost the theme of this interview, really, but there's such a culture of love and positivity that seems to surround both of you and all of the musical endeavors that you guys do. So just how does it feel to know that you're like a force of good and positivity in this world, and that's how people view you and take you in?
Well, I hope that we all can remember that we all are that. It's just not us. We're all just mirrors to each other. It's not something that only we have. It's hopefully something that we all remember. We all have. I mean, a silly thing comes to mind now. I used to love this. I wonder if it was like French animation for kids that kind of, it told a story about a person's, like insides of a person. Do you remember? It was...
Oh, the Ole Pakeran ihminen.
That's it. I forget what
I don't remember what it was in English,
but it had the song
Lovey, 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 the theme song. And it always, that idea of all of us kind of being in this universe, like inside, like the cells inside our bodies. We're all kind of part of a bigger picture. We're all in team universe, inseparable from each other. We all breathe the same air, and although we might seem different to each other and we have different qualities, but somehow that animation for kids always reminds me of like the bigger picture, and we really are all connected, and yeah, just working for the same cause.
There's a theory I've heard, and I think maybe the best depiction of it was in this video called The Egg by Koskela on YouTube. And it's just a theory that there is only one soul, and we are all the same soul. Throughout time, we live this same life through different perspectives. And then once we have lived all of the lives, then we kind of, that's what God is that someone who's experienced all of existence. And I just loved that it made me think like, oh, every time I'm unkind to someone, I'm being unkind to myself. And that's kind of the same vibe that I'm getting, is that just, if everyone was just nice to each other all the time, this would be a much nicer world.
Yes, but step by step, bit by bit, person by person, we can all do that. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me and sharing all of this. It's wonderful, and have an amazing rest of the tour.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.